Brodes Media.
They are who I thought they were. They're a team that is not good enough and not strong enough offensively. They're a team that's not good enough defensively. And they are annoying. I mean, that's what it is with great starting pitching. Rob Thompson has been making questionable decisions over this West Coast swing in San Fran and San Diego. I don't know why you pull Christopher Sanchez when you do. That makes my ass sweat big time watching Matt Strom in the ninth. Here's a walk. Here's 5 straight balls. I'm going, is this guy prepared a lick or what? My God. Please do not head into the half here getting swept. I don't think their record is telling the true story, though. And that's what I'm afraid of when people want to bite into them leading the NL East and being such a great team with wins. At 55-41, if you go back and reflect at their last 40 games, which is a fourth of the season. If you want to break down the 162 into reasonable pies and reasonable slices, 40. Heading into this last final game, they were 18-22 in their last 40. Doesn't that remind you a lot of last year's group? Get a nice record to start, and then you play 500-ish baseball the rest of the way. That's what they've been doing. And there's been a lot of rumor since we last spoke about making a trade with Minnesota, making a trade with Cleveland. We'll see what Dave Dombrowski does. Some of it, I think, is put out there publicly for a reason. And you know that Dave isn't going to want that information out there. Is it media leverage play, or is another team using the Phillies for leverage plays, or whatever it is to drive up the compensation with some other squads that are looking in the market? It's hard to be a seller in 2025 with the expanded playoffs and with all these teams making it and quote unquote being in the fight as we gear into the trade deadline. So that's going to drive the prices up for whatever teams are very open and available and willing to pick up the phone just to hear you out and dangle something in your face.
Nick Castellanos has the biggest ball sack ever.
So many questions in this series. Brandon Marsh out in center. What? Bases loaded, not scoring runs. What? Someone on third base, 1 out, nobody scores. What? Dusty Wathan not sending Trey Turner. What? Max Kepler rightfully not being in the game to start the final game in San Diego, but it is a big story because there's a righty and Nick Pivetta on the bump, and instead Otto Kemp plays. What does that mean? These are real legitimate questions. And we even have this group playing tough guy card. You're playing the tough guy card when thinking about this whole, hey, Christopher Sanchez isn't making the All-Star game, and The Miz feels disrespected. The league, the community, the brotherhood, I think, looks at the way Zach Wheeler approached the All-Star game, looked at Nick Castellanos saying The Miz making it is like the Savannah Bananas, Trey Turner running his mouth as well, saying it's a stupid way to get these players selected. And while I agree there's a billion flaws with the process on how to get somebody in the All-Star game, the brotherhood says, you guys are douchebags. The league circle, these guys are douchebags. Whether you meant it or not, you took a massive shot at The Miz. Now, I'm not here to tell you I know a damn thing about the 5 starts that The Miz has. I ain't watching no Milwaukee Brewers games pitch by pitch. Should Christopher Sanchez be in over? Of course. Should Christopher Sanchez be in over David Peterson? Of course. Christopher Sanchez should be in over a lot of guys. So I think I know where Nick was coming from, where Trey was coming from, where some of these other guys were coming from. But now you put the target on your back, and I'm okay if you play that card, if you back it up. I think the rest of the league are looking at them as sort of assholes right now. Like, who the hell are you, Nick? Who are you, Trey, who's now hitting below 290? And I told you I could only live with small ball Trey if it's at a ridiculous clip like 315 to 320. But if you're hitting 280, 285, 281, it loses the value of the obnoxious OBP and the obnoxious chaos and the obnoxious getting hits. I heard this the other day, and it's hard for me to not relate to it heavily. When Trey Turner's at the plate, do you think to yourself, yes? Be honest. If you were pitching and you see Trey, are you scared? The answer is no. And I don't think there are many guys that you are scared of right now. It's not JT. It's not Bryson Stott. It's not Brandon Marsh. It's not Max Kepler. It's not Bohm, who now is out and hit by a pitch, and I'm sure he'll be okay when the All-Star break is over, but you never know with him just because he's a nutcase and he doesn't really know how to understand the game on a mental side. He's very fragile. So last year it was all about the injury that threw him out for a loop, and then I look at Stott and I go, yo, dude, you banged up too? You know, last year, again, it was about the offseason, talking about the injury. Where you at? Because it looks like you didn't skip a beat from last year's disaster, unfortunately. And if you can't tell, yes, I am still bothered by this group. A couple of days off and playing super dad role. I come back here and I go, I got a lot to get off my chest. This team is a joke. This team pisses me off. This team leaves too many damn runners in scoring position. This team's plate discipline, watching Nick swing at an off-speed pitch 80 fucking feet off the plate for the fucking 5 millionth fucking time. Fuck off. You know what I mean? Fuck. I can't stand it. How many fucking times am I going to have to consume that crap? It's who he is. It's never going to change. But you know what else is never going to change? The results in the postseason because of how ridiculously flawed you are. I needed an opportunity to vent, to get this off my chest, because if anything, watching them play in San Fran, forget that final game. That final game is not true. That final game means nothing. They do not efficiently have an order, okay? They just don't. They don't have a batting order that can actually create serious positivity on a day-to-day basis with cohesion and structure. And a lot of that, too, starts with Bryce. And guess what? Yes, we obviously saw some hitting going the other way by Bryce Harper, some power, so that is nice. It's nowhere even close to the clutch that we need Bryce to be. And maybe it comes together over time. We've been desperately waiting for just blips on the radar, and I think we did, from an individual level, look at Bryce Harper as someone that is giving us a blip on the radar out west. But, I mean, there's still a lot that needs to be done from him. There's a lot of meat on the bones coming up with the big AB. And look, even if he walks, which isn't the worst thing in the world, of course, you're still getting on base. If there is a sequence with someone on second and third with first base open, and for whatever reason in this stupid hypothetical I'm laying out, they decide to pitch to Bryce, and there's two pitches that are extremely smackable where you can barrel it up and fucking nuke one or send it into the gap. Sorry for the F-bombs. If you miss those two pitches, you foul them back and then you earn a what? I need Bedlam at the bank, Bryce. That's what helped you win this final game in San Diego, was him and JT, weirdly, of all people. How they scored their runs in the first inning is beyond me. The Padres just forgot to show up to the ballpark, obviously, in the first early frame. You take advantage. You wish you scored more than one run. But of course you did. And then your offense does nothing the rest of the way until they squeezed by. And yes, that is the value of having great starting pitching. And Sanchez that can pitch super deep into the games, get ground balls, in theory not walk a lot of guys, although there was a sequence where he did put a few on for free, which was odd. But it's not a sustainable way of winning because you're just putting too much stress on your starters, and then inevitably you'll be putting too much stress on your bullpen as well. And, I'm bouncing all over the place. I'm sorry. There's no structure here. I'm just letting it pour from the heart. And this trade deadline, is it Estevez? Is it Kwan? Is it an arm and a bat coming from the same team? Are you willing to trade Abel now that he went back to the minors and had a nice start? What's Andrew Painter's role? Is he turning into a Sixto Sanchez or what? Because he had another effort tonight that wasn't promising whatsoever. Now, was it a disaster? Well, it wasn't great. When you're pitching 5 innings, allowing a bunch of homers, giving up 3 earned runs, 4 earned runs, 5 earned runs, you could barely get through 6. You're not good. Not good. I'm trying to win a championship. And what I'm not going to do is accept the fact that he's only 20-something years old coming off Tommy John. No. This guy was supposed to be a superstar. A superstar. Superstar. Sorry. And do some research on how long it's taken him to recover from this whole Tommy John. They've been babying this thing longer than anybody ever. He should have been pitching like this a year ago. And then where his body would be after that to now, you would have sped up the process. But they wanted to sit on their damn thumbs forever. Come on, man. He should be pitching for real by now. I mean, let's go. You got a power arm? Let's see it. If he's struggling against AAA, then goddamn. I think I have the right expectations. They said for a while now he's going to be up after the All-Star break to be in a role in the starting rotation. So what, now I'm wrong to think that he could be a starting pitcher in Major League Baseball after everything we heard about him as the phenom? Now all of a sudden we've been hyping him up too much